You know, the hardest part about aging and growing up as a Gen Xer is watching your parents and your grandparents' generation either go through a mental decline or passing away. Which brings us to Hal Williams. Last week we lost Hal Williams at the age of 91 due to natural causes. It was rather sudden because he just done an interview with an Ohio station, and him and his Sanford and Son co-star Howard Platt did a mini Sanford and Son reunion with the truck and everything. Now, to bring some of you up to speed on Sanford and Son, he played Officer Smitty, and Howard Platt played his partner Hoppy, aka Officer Hopkins. And I really like the camaraderie and the interplay between them because Hoppy was the one that spoke proper English, and he would use words and vocabulary that Fred and Lamont were familiar with. So Fred and Lamont would look to Smitty to translate what Hoppy was saying. And I thought that was funny and everything, especially when Hoppy attempted to speak slang and everything. I thought that was even more so hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I watched the footage of them recently. And I could tell that those two had genuine love for each other and whatnot. And I wish I could have been there in the audience to see them. Now, I never met Hal Williams. I don't know him from a hole in the wall and everything. But when one turns on the TV, especially myself, when you turn on the TV and everything, in a way it feels like you're inviting that person into your house, into your living room or your bedroom and everything. You spend so much time with them, they feel like they're a part of the family. And that's what Hal Williams pretty much felt to me. He felt like he was a part of my family, like one of my uncles or one of my grown cousins. He felt like that. I got that kind of vibe from him. So losing him feels like I lost a member of the family and everything. But although he's not no longer with us in the physical, he'll still continue to live with us through his work and TV shows he's been a part of, whether he was a regular or a guest star or movies he was in. Now let me get to this. I was familiar with Hal Williams from Sanford and Son, which I just mentioned not too long ago. That was my first introduction to Hal Williams. And from there, I remember him on the TV version of Private Benjamin. Him and his co-star Ellen Brennan were both in the TV show and the movie version of Private Benjamin. Ellen Brennan isn't with us, so rest in peace to her. And I really enjoyed the TV show of Private Benjamin and everything. I do wish that they would put that up on Tubi or Amazon Prime or something. Although it did have a relatively short run, but I see a lot of short run TV shows on Tubi, so I'm not sure what the excuse is. Maybe it's rights issues or whatever reason. But anyway, after Private Benjamin ended, there would be another TV show that he would pretty much be a regular on, and it would put him on the map in a major way, and that was 227 with Marla Gibbs. Marla Gibbs played his wife, Mary, and of course you have the daughter, Brenda, who is played by I can't think of her name right now. I'll just put it up on the screen. But anyway, I really liked Lester's character because Lester's character, he wasn't just in the construction business. He had his own company and everything, which means he was getting contracts and everything like that. He just wasn't just a laborer or something of that nature. So I really like how they made him into a business person in his own right, owner and operator of his own construction company or firm or whatever. And I was an avid watcher of 227. I watched the first run episodes when it came on Saturday nights on NBC. Because it was 227, it was the Golden Girls, it was Amen. Amen would come on at 9:30. And then followed by at 10, it was Hunter. So I remember those days fairly well because back at that time, my grandmother would watch us and everything. And one of her favorite shows was Amen. And I watched Amen and I watched, as I said, 227. So, yeah, I still remember those times and everything. And Lester, I liked him. He was a very level-headed character and whatnot. And as I was doing my research for this, there was something I came across and everything. Apparently, Hal Williams in the early 70s, he was going to be a regular on a TV show called The Jimmy Stewart Show. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Jimmy Stewart, he played the lead role in the classic Christmas movie, It's a Wonderful Life. And this is coming from Hal Cantor. I'm going to read the quote. And and you can read this on the Hal Cantor's IMDb profile, and it goes, "One day somebody comes running into my office and says, 'You better get down and see Jimmy. He's absolutely furious. I go down to his dressing room and he's really hot. The problem was he had just found out that we were casting Hal Williams, and he related that to a script for a show in which there was a cop lashing into a professor character. Blacks are bossing white people all over the country,' he says to me angrily. 'And now we're going to have the same damn thing on primetime television? A black is going to be lecturing me with millions of people watching? No way. I get casting approval, and Williams is out.' I couldn't believe it. Aside from everything else, he screwed up the shows because Williams had been hired to play an FBI agent on another episode. But his anger about the thing was frightening. He acted chagrined when I told him about the mix-up he made, but both of us knew that he let one cat out of the bag that he would have preferred not to. He didn't have an easy relationship with blacks, even as fictional characters." Now, side note, I didn't know that about Jimmy Stewart, but in all fairness, I didn't really follow his career like that. Jimmy Stewart was a part of another generation, although It's a Wonderful Life crossed over into my generation, which is Generation X. That's how I primarily know him. That and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. But to my knowledge, Hal Williams had nothing to say publicly about this and everything, which stands to the fact that Hal Williams, he could weather many storms, including that one, because he was still steadily working. But I do think that there was a missed opportunity to not have Hal Williams in like a feature film. He did appear in a feature film that I looked up online called Hardcore with George C. Scott, and he had a hilarious part in it as a porn star that was yelling at a casting agent who was he was irate at the casting person or director or whatever for not really considering him because he's black and everything, and I thought that was funny. But I just think that, there was a missed opportunity to not have Hal Williams play a cop or a detective in a major movie, or even a bad guy in a major movie. That was kind of a missed opportunity in everything. I could have seen Hal Williams play like Denzel Washington's father or something. You had John Amos play Denzel Washington's father in Ricochet. but they rarely play Ricochet on TV or on paid cable. But yeah, there was a missed opportunity there. But another one of my favorite parts of Hal Williams was when he played Roger and Rerun's landlord on What's Happening. That made me laugh. No Roger, no rerun, no rent. No Roger, no rerun, no rent. Especially what Rerun was saying at the end. Get your pinkies off of my Twinkies. No Roger, no rerun, no rent. But yeah, as I close this off, I just hope that in the near future there are plans from Celebrity Underrated. If you're not subscribed to that channel, I urge you to subscribe. He covers black celebrities of yesteryear that are no longer with us, as well as some non-black celebrities that are no longer with us. And he's a great storyteller, so you need to check the brother out. I hope Hal Williams is on a future edition of Celebrity Underrated. And I'll leave the link to his channel so you all can go and subscribe. Other than that, my condolences go out to Hal Williams' family, his friends, and countless fans like myself. Although he's not with us in the physical, he'll continue to live on with us through his work, which was featured on countless streaming platforms. Rest in power, Hal Williams. This is Iron Will Media.